Yo, what is up, guys? My name is John, and I am here to rank some MLB The Show starting pitchers. So, pretty much what I want to create with this channel is MLB The Show content. I want to do tier lists, I want to help you with the market, and I want to just help everybody get better at the game. So I figured initially I want to start our video with a series of ranking MLB The Show's players. So going through each position, starting with starting pitchers. So might as well just get right into it. So Shane Bieber. So when you're looking at Shane Bieber, you're pretty much thinking fastball cutter, but his windup's pretty easy to pick up. So like right on right, you're not gonna have that difficult of a time. So with this being like new to me with tier list, I might do some shuffling at the end, but I think Shane Bieber is a solid C tier pitcher to begin. Moving on with Chris Sale. So Chris Sale, left-handed pitcher, sinker, fastball, slider, circle change, and I'm going off from memory with this, so if I'm off on a little bit, I apologize, but it's just roughly. And it also, give it a little background, I was top 50 3 times. MLB Show 20, I'm about top 300 player the last few seasons. I've been busy with grad school, so my record sits usually around like 130 to 150 and like 10 to 20 losses, give or there. So like an 8 to 10 win loss. I went 12-0 twice last year, but even though I barely play BR. So I know the game a little bit, but I'm not like one of the people who grind 24/7. So this is my opinion, and you can take it with a grain of salt. So Chris Sale, I'm going to give him an A tier. Because if you look at this list quickly, you're not going to see that many left-handed pitchers. And Chris Hale with his windup, fastball, sinker, circle change slider, that wipeout slider is going to give a lot of people's fits, especially in the lower rankings. But his hits and Ks per 9, I think, are not too bad. I'm going to say like mid-70s or so. Let's see. They are 75-84. So hits per 9 is a little low, so he's not awful, but left-handed pitcher, A tier. Verlander, I think, is a solid B tier. You know what you're going to get with JV fastball. When we get his 99, he's going to go quickly to this S tier. But JV fastball slider, nothing too crazy. Early in the year, he's viable. Nolan Ryan, I'm gonna go with B tier. So Nolan, if they can hit the fastball, Nolan Ryan's pretty much useless. But if they can't hit the fastball, he's going to dominate and you're going to go deep in the game with him. But at this time, I think just B tier because he's a very one-dimensional pitcher relying on that fastball. Shohei, I'm going to put both Shoheis right now in S tier. They're very similar pitchers, but if you have any kind of hitter that has 100 plus power on against each hand in your lineup when there's no DH in Diamond Dynasty, then you can't beat that. That automatically S tier just because of the bat tier. And then he has a nice slow cutter, slider, changeup, or splitter, and then four seam fastball, which has a little heat to it. So he's a solid little pitcher too. He definitely can keep people off balance with that cutter if you tunnel it well with that fastball and slider. And the speed differentials are also really well on that. Garrett Cole, I'm going to give him a D tier. His windup's easy to see. Only fastball, slider, change, curve. I'm not really high on curveballs. The pitching meta is a big sinker, cutter, change-up, slider type deal. And Garrett Cole has none of that. Alex Manoa. See, this is a card it's going to be tough for me to rate because I haven't really used him, but I've seen Seabrev use him and do great things. But Seabrev's nasty and can make Catfish Hunter look like a top 5 pitcher. So at this point, he has the sinker, fastball, slider, changeup. I'm between B and A for this one. And at the end of this tier list, I'm going to organize it a little bit more. So I'm going to put him initially at the top of B tier. And he might move to A. Pedro. Let me look up Pedro's stats real quick. Pedro is an interesting pitcher. So like last year, he should have been a lot better than what he should have been. So he has fastball, circle change, cutter, slider, curveball, 82 hits, 92 K. Good speed differentials. Cutter's a little fast, to be honest, but good speed differentials. I'm going to say Pedro is between this B and A tier. Like, he's definitely serviceable. Not many people are going to have him because he's a BR reward. I want to go top of B tier, but that can easily change. Again, Pedro I can only go off of like last year. Alex Manoa I haven't pitched with, so Kluber I'm going to go A tier. His hits and Ks per 9 aren't amazing from what I remember, but again, slider, cutter, he's Corey Kluber. It's Kluber. Like, you know what you're going to get with him. Corey Kluber is just an annoying card to face. So sinker, cutter, slurve, four seam. Hits per 9's low, but his stuff is so good that you can get away with it. And his control is good other than a slurve. Keuchel, S tier. He's going to dot you up. He has the meta pitch mix. And if you're hitting your spots, you can keep people off balance. Casey Mize, I'm going to go top of A tier. Same idea. He's just pretty much has all the good pitches. Solid control. He's pretty much what you're looking for, and he's probably one of the top picks out of the Face of the Franchise packs. Jack Leiter. So let's see. He's fastball 12-6 circle change, slider, sinker, high hits and Ks per 9. I don't know much about him. Pitching wise, I haven't used him. I haven't faced him. I haven't really seen anybody use him, but I'm gonna say low A tier for now. Just for his stuff factor. And that you're not going to see him well, or see him much. If he has a generic windup, he's definitely moving down B, C tier. But for now, I'm going to give him A. Let's see, Dontrell, I'm going to put S tier just because of the overall factor. He's a new card. I might be a little biased for Dontrell, but he has cutter. He has a slow cutter, fastball change, slide, curveball. I think like 80 hits and Ks per 9 each. He's probably borderline S and A tier. At the end of the day, S tier. Actually, I'm going to put him A. S tier, I'm going to want to put 5 cards. I might have 6 for this one just because of the 2 Shoheis. But my goal is to have 5, so a 5-man rotation to start off. Next up, DeGrom. He's S tier. But everybody saw DeGrom last year, so he might not be as good. But DeGrom's stuff it's good. That hard slider is really hard to hit with lefties. Fastball jumps out of you. Good change. Good change up and all of that. Overall solid pitcher. Scherzer, I would say right in the middle of A tier. Cutter, fastball, good hits per 9, I believe. Just an overall solid pitcher. Zach Wheeler, I'm going to give him probably low B tier. So his sinker's good. I've used him in events and he's done well. Or actually, I'm going to give top of C tier. So he has good stuff, good hits per 9, but for the NL reigning strikeout leader, he got shafted with Ks per 9. They gave him like 65. So people can just foul everything off at the lower levels and you can't really get outs because this stuff isn't really deceptive. Strasbourg, goodness. I am not high on Strasbourg cards. He's very easy to see. I'm going to put him in D tier and Garrett Cole in F tier. So Strasbourg is just a very easy pitcher to read. He throws very flat. And all of his cards are pretty much roughly the same. So I'm going to put him in D tier. Brandon Webb, I'm going to put in C tier. He's just doesn't have the it factor. He doesn't throw hard. His hits per 9s aren't great. He's just an average pitcher. Same thing with Brandon Woodruff. I'd put him in also in C tier. He's the very generic pitcher. He could actually argue a D tier rating. But he's okay. Kershaw, I'm between C and D, which I hate, but he's just not that great early on in the year. And again, I'm basing these ratings off of online play and what I think they are compared to each other. And I'm new to this, so if you disagree, put it down in the comments section below. I'm glad to see what you guys have to say. But back to Kershaw, he only has slider, fastball, curve, 12-6, and circle change. And none of them are, he has no velo because it's live series. So I'm going to put him in C tier for now. Robbie Ray, D tier, very flat, pretty easy to read. It's just a generic lefty. JV's here again. I'm just going to put him at the end of the list. Mark Pryor, I'm going to give either C or D tier. Another easy pitcher to read, but he has a slurve, so I'm going to put in C tier. Not a bad pitcher. Very serviceable, but Mark Pryor cards, you pretty much know what you're going to get. So next up, Walker Bueller. We're going to put him in B tier. We're going to put him above Manoa. Bueller might be low A tier, but Bueller is just he's a solid pitcher. He has a sort of a weird windup that can trip people up, but fastball cutter, he throws everything hard. From what I remember, he does not have a changeup. But yeah, Walker Bueller he's a solid pitcher, but B tier I would say with these guys. Corbin Burns, I would say top of A tier. Corbin Burns, slider, cutter. He's going to bring the heat. He has the meta pitch mix, good hits and Ks per 9. Corbin Burns is that dude, and he can get you far into ranked. I'm sure he's going to be in a lot of rotations for a while until we start getting better pitchers. This 80, the Randy Johnson, the card art series. So Randy Johnson, this one, I'm going to give him low B tier. So his height really makes it tough, but with this overall, he doesn't have outlier from what I remember, and he's not hard to pick up with his stuff not being as hard. He's a good pitcher, don't get me wrong, but I just don't see him being higher in the rank compared to this guy. Like, I think he's better than, let's say, right between Manoa. So actually, let's organize this list a little better. So let's see. Shohei's, I would say Keuchel is worse than Shohei. DeGrom's worse than Keuchel. Burns, Willis, Mize. I'm going to go there. He might, Leiter's going to get dropped. So we're going to go Leiter, Pedro, Bueller, Randy, Manoa, Verlander, Ryan. And that looks pretty good. I might do one of these. D and F tier, that's fine. Again, I'm a Yankees fan, but Garrett Cole can stay down here. Don Sutton, I'm going to say top of B tier. He might be low A tier. But Don Sutton, he just throws slow, to be honest. But his stuff is actually pretty decent for early game. So fastball, knuckle curve, screwball, slider, sinker, 96 hits per 9. Good control of them all. Like, he has the meta sinker, but he just doesn't throw hard. Like, his fastball tops out at 91 miles per hour. He sort of has the Kershaw problem, but with a better pitch mix. So I'm going to go top of B tier. Logan Webb, I'm going to go bottom of A tier. Again, he's just like Mize, but I find Mize to be slightly better than Logan Webb. I'm going to say Logan Webb is better than Kluber. I would say he's tied with Chris Sale. Solid pitcher. He's going to hit the spots. He has slider or sinker and cutter that you can really tail off well. Only problem is everybody has him, and you're going to see him a lot. So let's see. Marcus Strowman, I'm going to throw in. I'm going to go top of B tier. Strowman, same idea. He has the meta pitch mix as Logan Webb, and Casey Mize just doesn't throw as hard. I find him easier to pick up, and usually when people throw with him, it's very predictable, and his stuff doesn't really fool anybody. So I'm going to go top of B tier. Messina and Randy is S tier. Randy's obviously the best pitcher in the game. What can I say? Like, at this point of the game, he's the best. I want to say Messina. Here's the hot take. Messina, top of A tier. Burns is going to be our 5th S tier starter. So I'm going to go Messina, like, he's a new card. But his stuff isn't really crazy. He has sinker, cutter, slider, no changeup. Hits per 9's 80. Great control, great break, good speed differentials between the cutter, slider, and sinker, but no changeup really hinders him. But he's a new card, and again, Yankees fan, I'm a little biased. I'm going to put him at the top of A tier, just letting his stats and control take him over. Fernando. So I love this lefty screwball. It gives people fits, and I think it's going to give a lot of people fits if you sequence it well with the circle change. I'm going to say I would rather have Fernando than all of these guys. Fernando's done well for me in the event. He's a solid pitcher. If you really play off of screwball circle change and really tunnel it well with the high fastball, it gives people fits. So I have to put him right in the middle B tier, which might be a sleeper pick. Gold Series Logan Webb, or Gold Live Series, is a better pitch mix than all of these guys. Let me look up his stats real quick. So Logan Webb, I'm pretty sure he has the same pitch mix as his. So let's see, sinker, slider, changeup. So yeah, he has the same pitch mix. 70 hits, 64 Ks, breaks maxed out sinker and changeup, but very low on the cutter. I'm gonna go better than Brandon Webb. So he's a low tier, but he's definitely serviceable. Yuri Perez, I'm gonna go probably right next to him. Yuri has a good sinker. He has a little different windup. He's not going to wow you, but it's a C pitcher, so it's not bad. Lance Lynn, top of C. Most of these golds are going to live C tier and below, except probably this guy right here. Lance Lynn, he has all the great pitches. He throws hard, not hard, but his windup makes it look hard. So with that, I'm going to give him the top of C tier. And then Charlie Morton. I'm stuck between B and C. You know, I'm going to say he is the best Gold Live Series pitcher outside, well, highest Gold Live Series. Charlie has all the meta pitch mix. He's just overall a very solid pitcher. He can keep people off balance, and you can definitely use him. I've seen people using him in the 800s still. Not still, but him being used in the 800s and doing well. It's pretty much make or break. If you can spot his stuff, you can succeed. So I'm not going to rate J.R. Richard. I do not know anything about him. I haven't used him, so I have no true opinion. I haven't even, heard of anybody using him to where Jack Leiter, I've heard people using, I've seen him on stream, but I've never faced him. Same thing with Manoa. But J.R. Richard, I can't accurately rate with a gold series. I'm assuming, or gold rating, I would assume he's between C and D, depending on his pitch mix, but at this point I just don't know. So to wrap it up, so our S tiers, Randy Johnson, best pitcher in the game. Shohei, these are combined. Keuchel, DeGrom, Burns is your meta starting five. A tier is Messina, Willis, Mize, Sale, Webb, Kluber, and Scherzer. I think this group, I feel really good about this group being the top of the game. Chris Sale might be lower, but it depends on, he's the best left-handed pitcher outside of Keuchel and Dontrell. B tier, I feel pretty good about. Again, Alex Manoa might be a little lower because his pitch mix is less to be desired, but I feel pretty good. So my goal is going to have a lot of people in B tier, and then about the same in A and C. Not many people are going to go in F, but Garrett Cole is bad, so he's going to go in F. Pretty much, yeah, I feel pretty good about this. So that's going to wrap up this first video on my channel. Again, this is a new thing for me. So if you have any comments, questions, or anything, leave it in the comments. I'm willing to talk with anybody in the community and try to improve people's playstyle and sort of give some information out with the game from an insider's point of view, because I've been playing since MLB 17. I've played baseball the entire life, played collegiate baseball. But yeah, I think this is going to be my tier list for the starting pitchers. Leave a comment below. Thank you for watching, and catch you next time.